Good morning. Today is Monday, September 8th. Hope you had a great weekend and that you're ready to jump into the next week. This is Wake Up with KERA News, and I'm Andrew Garcia. It's going to be mostly sunny today with some clouds. Highs will be a bit cooler today. It'll be in the upper 80s. That Monday morning fatigue you might feel after a weekend of socializing might be a form of sleep apnea. We'll learn more about that after the news. A North Texas congresswoman is calling for due process for migrants being held in a Northwest Texas immigration detention facility. KERA's Priscilla Rice reports Representative Julie Johnson spoke with some detainees during a visit on Friday.
Johnson says she's disturbed by what she saw at the Bluebonnet Detention Facility located in Anson, 200 miles west of Dallas. She visited the facility after constituents complained family members were there without resolution.
They haven't had access to lawyers. They haven't had hearings yet on a final deportation or whether or not they should be released on bond.
That includes Dallas activist Omar Salazar, who was detained last week and is awaiting his first hearing. KERA News reached out to ICE for comment. Johnson sits on the House Subcommittee on Border Security and Enforcement, which has oversight over ICE. For KERA News, I'm Priscilla Rice in Dallas.
A controversial nightclub in Deep Ellum will remain closed until further notice. KERA's Megan Cardona reports Rodeo Dallas has been closed for nearly a month.
The ruling for a temporary injunction was made Friday by a Dallas County judge. It comes a month after a temporary restraining order was requested by real estate investment firm Asana Partners, which owns property near Rodeo Dallas. Asana Partners allege that Rodeo Dallas is a nuisance to the neighborhood. Friday's ruling cited the, quote, threat of imminent and irreparable harm to Asana Partners that could not be remedied by means other than a temporary injunction. Judge Verita Frazier said in the ruling that Rodeo's patrons are often loud, boisterous, intoxicated, and in certain instances, violent. For KERA News, I'm Megan Cardona.
That sort of malaise that you might feel on Mondays after a weekend socializing might be more than mere fatigue. A new study says it might be social apnea, a weekend spike in the severity of obstructive sleep apnea that can happen to anyone. Sleep specialist Dr. Bekah Jain told KERA's Sam Baker why alcohol is often a contributing factor.
Well, sleep apnea is merely your airway is relaxing and you're then having diminished airflow. Alcohol by itself relaxes the upper airway, so it can put you in a position to experience sleep apnea on a given night. It doesn't mean that you will, but if you're someone who maybe already has some degree of muscle relaxation, is that, extra alcohol going to just put you over the edge where now you're going to start to experience this condition? So sleep apnea is considered where you're stopping breathing 5 times every hour. Perhaps you could be someone who's stopping breathing 3 or 4 times every hour, which we would say, hey, that's within normal limits. But on nights where you're drinking now, if that number increases to 9 or 10 times an hour, now you're having apnea.
You mentioned alcohol. Are there any other things that could lead to this?
Anything that is going to contribute to muscle weakness or muscle relaxation can. So if there's medicines that patients may take more so on the weekends that relate to muscle relaxation, that can also contribute. Sometimes things that influence breathing, like if you tend to be a social smoker, that could potentially put you in a place where maybe you're not going to breathe as well on those weekend nights as you would on a weekday night.
So it's not just a case of just breaking your normal sleep schedule for a couple of days. It's what else you do during that time.
Right. So both kind of what you do during the day and then what you suffer from at night. And I think the idea behind it is because, if they have a higher degree of sleep apnea on the weekends, then the idea is, then that's going to lead you to go into the week feeling really tired. Then you're sitting there wondering, hey, I'm really tired. Maybe I should go get this checked out. But then if you test yourself on a weeknight, that might miss the condition because it's really only present on the weekend.
So what are the warning signs people should look for when it comes to social apnea?
One is, are you being told that you're snoring more on those particular nights? Do you feel like you're waking up more often, having more disrupted sleep? Do you feel a bit more tired, sleepy throughout the day? Do you kind of notice that? Let's say if maybe if Friday, Saturday were these social nights, do you tend to notice those symptoms more on a Saturday and Sunday and Monday, kind of entering into the week? Those are often signs of disrupted sleep and can be helpful in then determining if maybe you need a more extensive evaluation.
What are the main health concerns of social apnea?
What happens with sleep apnea is that your airway is narrowing, it's affecting your airflow, and that in turn then affects how much oxygen you're getting. And so if you're having repeated bouts of low oxygen throughout the night, that over time can contribute to cardiovascular disease. We see that it contributes to atherosclerosis, contributes to high blood pressure, it can contribute to arrhythmias, heart attack, and stroke. And so the more often you're sort of suffering from this over time, it can have an impact on health. And so then the concern is if this is going on week over week and you're unaware, is that contributing to diminished health over time?
So what are the tips that can be put in place to combat this?
So one to combat it would be trying to keep a consistent schedule and being mindful of sort of weekends and weekdays and maybe trying to keep those as close together as you can, being mindful of how many alcoholic drinks you may be having on the weekend, making sure you're not staying up too late. So the more consistent we can keep our sleep schedules and day schedules, the more opportunity there would be then to see, hey, do I feel healthy on a consistent basis, or am I feeling unhealthy on a consistent basis? And it might help to diagnose whether the condition is present or not.
That was KERA Sam Baker speaking with Dr. Vikas Jain, a sleep medicine specialist with Texas Health Center for Diagnostics and Surgery, Plano. In sports news, FC Dallas came away with a draw this weekend against St. Louis City Soccer Club 1-1, despite notching an early man disadvantage when their keeper went off with a red card in the 16th minute. And Dallas Trinity FC won against Jacksonville 1-0. Author Rachel Harrison is heading to the Half Price Books flagship store this evening to talk about her new book, Play Nice, a clever take on the haunted house. She'll even sign your copy, which is included in the ticket price. For tickets and some other fun things to do, visit our Go See DFW calendar at kera.org/calendar. Thanks for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. The show is produced by Shardae White with editing support from Bekah Morr. For more news in your inbox, visit kera.org/wakeup. That is where you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter. You'll get a more in-depth look into the news with plenty of good morning vibes. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're at KERATX. Happy Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.